call this session of Jackson County Board of Education to order. As our custom, we're going to take a moment of silence for prayer, reflection, and thankfully we got off to a good start yesterday, I believe. And our little ones are settled, and I know that we're glad to see them back in front of us, where we know that they're being fed and cared for and smiled at and loved. So we want to thank all of our principals and our teachers and our bus drivers and support folks for making that day yesterday a good one. So be thankful for them as you reflect and you well wish all that is to come. So if you'll take a moment with me, please. Thank you. First on the agenda is to consider a motion to approve the agenda as it is presented. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Gant seconds that. Is there any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. So the agenda is approved. And we have personnel actions.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion, we go in executive session, and talk about the good name and character of the employee.
Okay, we have a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Mr. Story seconds that. Is there any discussion on that? We will take a vote for that. So Mr. West,
Yes.
Mr. Story,
Yes.
Mr. Gant,
Yes.
Dr. Guess,
Yes.
and myself is yes. So we are now in executive session, and we will exit. We will try to make it as quickly as we can. Thank you for bearing with us. We will now entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
Make a motion to come out of executive session. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. We are now in executive session.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'd like to amend the agenda to just take under employment, item G, to set that aside for the time being,
Okay.
under employee.
Okay, under employment, item G, set this aside. We have a motion to set aside G under employee. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Story seconds that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote on setting aside item G. Mr. West,
Yes.
Mr. Story,
Yes.
Dr. Guess.
Yes.
Mr. Gant,
Yes.
and myself is a yes, so item G will be set aside. I'll still call those others by the letter that they're indicated on the agenda as we move forward. Kenny, you got those motions? Okay. Back to personnel actions. Resignations. Consider a motion to accept the resignation of Heather Harper as a CNP worker at Section High School effective 8/2/17.
I make that move.
Mr. Gant makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. West, is there any discussion? You want to move up, Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is yes, that resignation has been accepted. Under retirements, consider a motion to accept the retirement of Sandra Hauser effective 9/1/17.
I make that motion.
Mr. Story makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. West seconds. Is there any discussion? We'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
And myself is yes, and that retirement has been approved. Under transfers, consider a motion to transfer Michelle Grant from 100% teacher at North Sun Mountain to 50% teacher and 50% counselor at North Sun Mountain effective 8/15. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Gant, thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
And myself is yes, and that transfer has been approved. Consider a motion to transfer Jerry Brown from teacher at Rosalie to a teacher at Pisgah High School effective 8/15/17.
I'll make the motion to accept that.
Mr. Story makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. West seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
And myself is a yes, and that transfer has been approved. Consider a motion to transfer Jamie Whitley from a countywide instructional aide to a teacher at Paint Rock Valley effective 8/15/17. Is this full-day teacher or half?
She'll be full day.
Full day. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Guest seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guest?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is yes. Item C is approved. Consider a motion to transfer Johnny Holman from a teacher at Bridgeport Middle School to a teacher at North Jackson effective 8/15/17.
I'll make a motion that we approve that transfer.
Story makes a motion to approve the transfer. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. West seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is a yes. That item is approved. Consider a motion to transfer Jesse McCutcheon from an 8-hour custodian at Hollywood School to a 50% teacher at Hollywood School effective 8/15/17.
I'll make that move.
Mr. Gant makes a motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Yes?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is yes, and that item is approved. Under F, consider a motion to transfer Carlton Pittman from counselor at section, half-day Pisgah, that's the elementary counselor, I do believe, to counselor at Pisgah Bryant.
I move to transfer Ms. Pittman.
Mr. West makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Gant seconds that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
And myself is yes. That item is approved. Under G, consider a motion to transfer Sam Houston to the teacher at the alternative school effective 8/15/17. I make a motion. No, it's not that one. It's under employee. So this is actually a live one. Consider a motion to transfer Sam Houston to teacher at alternative school effective 8/15/17. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Dr. Guess seconds that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Mr. West?
No.
Mr. West, no. Mr. Story?
No.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
No.
Myself is a yes. That motion has passed. Under employee, consider a motion to employ Samantha Carson as countywide aide effective 8/9/17.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Story makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. West seconds that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is a yes, and the motion carries. Consider a motion to employ Chastity Wheeler as a countywide aide effective 8/10/17.
I make that move.
Mr. West makes the motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Motion carries. Item C, consider a motion to employ Jordan Williams as a countywide aide effective 8/10/17.
I'll make a motion to approve item C.
All right, Mr. Story makes the motion. I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is a yes, the motion carries. D, consider a motion to employ Chase Bolt as a countywide aide effective 8/14/17. This is pending a background clearance, and that should be done pretty quick, I think, Mr. Davis, correct? Okay. Pending background clearance. Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Yes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is a yes, that motion carries. Item E, consider a motion to employ Zach King as a countywide aide effective 8/9/17, and that's also pending a background clearance.
I move we accept that.
Mr. Gant makes a motion.
Employ.
Second.
Mr. West seconds that. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Motion carries. F, consider a motion to employ Taylor Rogers as a countywide aide effective 8/9/17, pending background clearance and completion of the work keys assessment. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Mr. Story seconds that. Is there any discussion? None. We'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Motion carries. Item G is set aside. So now we'll move to item H. Consider a motion to employ Catherine King as a 50% special ed teacher at Paint Rock Valley, effective 8/15/17. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. West, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Item H carries. Under coaching, we have considered a motion to approve Michael Mass as a coach at Stevenson Middle School effective 8/7/17.
I make a move that we approve Michael Bass.
Mr. Story makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Gant seconds that. Is there any discussion? I know that he is excited. So we'll move to a vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is a yes, and that motion carries. Consider a motion to approve Kelsey Draper as a volunteer coach at Pisgah High School effective 8/8/17.
I make that move.
Mr. Gant makes a motion to approve Kelsey as a volunteer coach. Is there a second? I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is a yes, and that motion carries. Consider a motion to approve Kevin Thompson as a non-faculty coach at North Jackson High School effective 8/15/17.
I make a move that we approve Mr. Thompson.
Mr. Story makes a motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
Myself is a yes, and that motion carries. Consider a motion to approve Zach King as a coach at section effective 8/15/17.
I make that move.
Mr. Gant makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Story seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
And myself is a yes, and that motion carries. Under G, consider Michael Bold as a non-faculty coach at section effective 8/15/17. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. West seconds. Is there any discussion? And I think Mr. Bold will be helping coach baseball. Hearing no more discussion, we'll move to vote. Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
Dr. Guess?
Yes.
Mr. Gant?
Yes.
And myself is a yes, and that motion carries. Under announcements, we have the next regular scheduled board meeting will be held August the 24th at 4:30. August the 24th at 4:30. Is there any other announcements that need to be made? Any? No announcements? Okay. Hearing no more announcements, we will consider a motion to adjourn.
I move with John.
Mr. Gant makes a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. West seconds that. I don't suppose there's any discussion. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now adjourned. Thank you.